Well, hello there, Moxie.
Howdy, Mayo. How's it going today?
I'm doing really well. What's going on with you?
Oh, well, snow and ice, snow and ice, snow and ice, and some more snow and ice.
At the time of this recording.
Yes, yes, at the time of this recording.
Because you never know who's going to listen or when, right?
In my world right now, it is winter, and it's a world of ice. It is slippery.
Yes.
You can't shovel it. It doesn't seem to want to melt.
Nope.
And it's dirty looking. Great.
I don't know why I was born here. In Massachusetts, or in New England, I should say.
Do I need to tell you why you were born here? I mean, it's winter and it's cold. What else is there to do?
Yes, of course. Yeah, nothing. And I'm not a big skier either, but...
No. There's nothing else to do in the winter time. So, I mean, like,
I know.
Children.
I used to go sledding a lot when I was a kid.
Yes. Well,
and some snowmobile riding and stuff.
I like sledding.
Yeah, sledding's good. Unless you're sliding on ice and then...
No, that's still fun. It's just dangerous.
It's just really fast. I hope you got a nice hill at the end.
That's the best kind. That's what we do. Live dangerously.
So what do you want to talk about today?
I would like to talk about children out there in the world.
Children?
Children and their behaviors.
Okay.
How parents react to their behaviors.
Okay.
In front of other people.
Excuse me. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
I don't have any kids. I've never had kids.
This I did not know about you.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
All right, so I had no kids at all. And I never wanted kids because I didn't want to really bring them into this world. And
Was
plus,
it the diapers?
Yeah, they're really expensive. Excuse me. But I changed other kids' diapers. And,
well, good. Everybody should change a diaper.
And you know what? I gagged so much. I've never been such a gagger in my life. Especially, oh my goodness. But quick little story. I was changing a diaper over my friend's house. They had a dog there. I started going gagging. Excuse me. And when I gagged, and then the diaper fell down towards the floor, but it stayed up. So it was still in there, and then the dog came over and licked it. And I really gagged after that. It was terrible. So I didn't want any kids.
That would do it.
That would do it, right?
I worked in an after-school program. I ran it, and I said, this is the best birth control ever. That was a bunch of lies. Lies. I have a son. I wasn't able to have any more children after my son, but running an after-school did a good job of replacing that, I guess you could say. And then I got nephews. And my son was such a... Well, he still is, but he's a grown-up.
Yes.
I'm that old to have a grown-up child.
You're not old.
I know. I'm told I'm not old, but let me tell you, when a bone cracks, I'm like, oh. But my son, absolutely the greatest in public. He was not the temper tantrum child. I have seen that, and I was so worried. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have this kid that talks back, or this kid that's going to have a temper tantrum, or something that I've seen children. And he wasn't. I mean, the only issue I had with my son in public when he was in the young age, he was learning his address, and he was learning his phone number. So we would go to a store, and he'd be like, hi. My name is James blah, blah, blah. I live at such and such, and this is my phone number. And be like, oh, my God. The world does not need to know. The world does not. The world does not. Stop speaking. Stop speaking.
Yeah.
So
that crazy?
Watch your children in public and who they're talking to.
Right.
Sometimes.
I mean, you want to teach them.
You do. You do. And we always are about.
Teach them to come out and say that when it's needed.
Right. We're like, you want to trust those in blue.
Yes.
The blue will help you.
Yes.
Not everybody else. Checkers, no. Moo dress, no.
Yeah.
But I think we forget that we always worry about our kids and the adults that are around our children. We never think our kids are going to go up to the adults, right? Like we always teach them stranger danger.
Kids do the darndest things.
But kids are just like, hey, you look cool. So if we're talking about kids and in public, I would say that would be number one. Watch your kids. Watch your kids.
Yes.
Period. I don't know what else to say. I am floored in today's world of the lack of watching.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those blind spots, isn't it? Like leaving your kid in the back seat of the car when you go out to the,
that
to the
floors me.
grocery store because you forgot that they were even there. I mean,
if
what
you
is
have
that?
Yeah, if you have a kid, you should remember.
You should remember.
You should remember.
But
and
there's a word for it, and I can't remember what
I
it is
can't either.
now.
If somebody knows, please write it in the comments when you
sure.
check us out on the podcast. I'd like to know.
Yeah.
But kids in public, like the temper tantrum. I know people who this is the worst. Okay, I'm going to repeat. I repeat. Do not try this method with your children. It will never work for you. The temper tantrum child who gets what they want.
Yes.
Oh, my lord.
It's just going to keep getting worse. And I never had kids, but I know.
Don't be like, I'll give you this if you be quiet. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You're going to be buying that daughter a car, diamonds. She's going to take your wallet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it just expands until they get older.
Absolutely.
It just gets worse and worse.
And it starts, with a dollar toy. And by the time they're older, you're giving them video games. And
yeah.
But don't give in to the temper tantrum. Like, seriously, don't. Like, it just takes the one time of you doing that for them to realize as small children that they've got you. And it's really hard to stop. So if you just leave with the temper tantrum, there's nothing left they can do.
Right.
And for goodness sake, why make the rest of us go through the temper tantrum with you?
Yes. If we're out in public, you're saying.
Yes.
Yes.
In public.
Yes, in public.
I'm not at your house while this temper tantrum's happening. This is in public. In
Yes.
public, yes.
Yeah.
With that being said, however, children in public, you do not have the right to disgrace your child or lay hands on your child in public to get them to behave either.
Yeah.
So, you got to look at what's going on for the scenario. So if you're going to do that in public, I'm going to say something to you.
Yes. Absolutely.
So there's ways to reprimand your children in public, right? Like,
but then you start a fight. Don't tell me what to do with my child. All that,
right. And you're just trying to back up the child.
Yes.
I just think that my son in public always thought that it was an adventure. That is where they get to socialize and see all types of different people and get cultured.
Because you probably taught them.
Absolutely. The big people, small people, old people, young people, tall people, not so tall like Mom.
Yeah, we have to be teachers to our children.
Absolutely.
We have to be.
And
of good things.
You hit that on the head. We need to be good teachers to our children, not teachers teaching our children about manners and how they should be.
Right.
Yes, they should, but that's not their main job.
No.
You, as a parent, are responsible how your child acts out in the public.
Absolutely.
We'll go back to an old podcast. If you're a bully, your child's gonna be a bully. You did that. Yes, there's certain circumstances with social mental issues and stuff like that, disease and things that could make your kid act a certain way.
Right.
But on average,
but
it's all in how they are.
Yeah, but remember what I said in the last podcast about the bullies, how they once you could teach your kid at home. And then once they go to school, then they start hanging around with their peers. Then they start to become the bullies,
right?
Because they want to show off in front of their kids.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that's
where they show off the most.
Because I can hear some parent asking right now, "Well, I didn't do that. I did not raise my kid to be a bully."
Oh, right.
So that's why I'm just saying.
You're right. You're right. I'm
up,
wrong.
right?
You're right. It could be. It could be the setting that they go to. The parents are not aware.
Right.
Absolutely, the child's not talking to them about what's going on. There's all kinds of circumstances. You're right. You're right. I think perhaps the worst place for poor behaviors to act out and to be like, I'm cool, is the movie theater.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, how young is too young to bring kids to a rated R movie? Can I ask you that?
Yeah.
I have
no
to say,
babies.
I'm going to share this story about a baby. Okay, I went to go watch the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Okay, what? I was floored when this lady came in with a baby. Okay, I know the baby doesn't know what's going on, but I know the baby's hearing some really scary things.
Yes.
Okay? The baby's hearing chainsaws. The baby's hearing screaming. The baby's hearing all this really scary stuff.
Yes.
Not appropriate.
Right.
Not appropriate. Now, you teenagers, I know you want to have fun and all these things. It is not okay to throw your gum and popcorn and things in people's hair.
No.
That is not appropriate. That does not get you into
I felt something on the back of my head.
I
Oh
hate
my
that.
goodness.
Or the kicking of the...
It's a goober.
You know how tempted I am to take that popcorn out of my hair and just eat it and be like, raw and bad.
Oh my.
You think you got it?
Yeah, right? Oh man.
So yeah, there's that behavior
Yeah.
at the movie theater. Like, how young is too young to bring kids
Yeah.
to an adult movie?
Yeah.
And if you're going to an adult movie, you should be with your children, because I don't think they can usually get in. But make them be respectful, because you know it's going to be mostly of adults. It's not
Yes.
a kid-themed movie like you're going to watch Despicable Me or something like that, where it's more kid-oriented, and you might expect kids to be acting out a little more as an adult going to said movie, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you're kind of putting yourself in there.
Yeah.
But Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Yeah.
for goodness
I'm
sakes.
not sure if people bring kids to rated R movies anymore. I mean,
What's that?
I hardly go to the movies because I'm in radio,
Right.
most of the time. But going to the movies and bringing your kids is just not good, especially for rated R movies. I don't know. I mean, they're gonna cry out, and then you get a bunch of stuff happening after that.
Oh, my favorite is, Daddy, what's happening? But Daddy, but Daddy, what about the dog, Daddy? You know, you want to root for the kid. Like, it's
Yeah.
okay, kid. I know that I'm not your parent, but that dog's going to be all right.
They think it's real up there. They must.
I'm sure they do. I'm
Yes,
sure they do.
Right.
And-
Because you're feeling the emotions if
Yep.
they're old enough to get the emotions.
Oh,
which
sure.
I'm sure they are.
Oh, absolutely.
Depending on the kid.
Can we talk about the kids in the restaurants?
Yeah, sure.
Can we do that?
Sure.
Can we do that, man? Can we talk about
Do we
the
need
kids
a disclaimer?
in the restaurant? I will not name any restaurants.
Right.
I will say this.
Okay.
If your children are at a booth and there are other people at booths on either front or back of you, please do not let your child come over said top of said booth and interfere with my dinner
Hang out.
and be like, hey, what you doing? I'm eating lunch with my family, trying to ignore you. That's
Yeah.
what I'm doing. I'm not a
Or
mean
they're
person. I would be like, you're so cute. You want to come over and have yourself a mozzarella stick?
Yeah. Or they're just staring at you.
Or they stare at you. That awkward, like, are they looking at that mole I have on my
Yeah.
face? I've been trying to get off for the
Staring.
last
It's
10
like,
years.
Why are they staring at me?
Do they want what I'm eating? Are they curious? Do they not like what
Maybe.
their parents got them? And for goodness sake, parents, why aren't you removing them from the back of my booth?
Yeah.
Why are you letting this happen?
Right.
I know the parents aren't happy and they're just as annoyed, but I feel like they're like, good, annoy that stranger over there so I can have some peace.
Yeah, yeah.
But I should get a discount. I think restaurants should realize when patrons are getting bugged by children and be like 10% off.
We can't.
You had to deal with that.
We can't because we know you came in here knowing that there could be, kids here. So, but you didn't ask to get put next to them unless you were there first, and then they sat down the whole group.
Right. Well, you kind of should expect some at certain family setting restaurants, right?
Yeah.
I don't expect to go to a fancy, elegant restaurant where dates usually go to have screaming children.
Yeah.
I do expect when I go to the chicken finger place, there's going to be kids.
Yes.
However, this does not mean you get to throw your food.
Right.
You were
Which just comes
still
back
in
to
public.
control your kids in public.
In public.
If you can.
If your kids are throwing food at a restaurant, what does your kitchen look like?
Oh my goodness.
What about your floors? I mean, I'm not opposed to the occasional
Spaghetti
house.
sauce over here.
Listen, the occasional house food fight is fun if you clean it up.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
in public at a restaurant,
Yeah.
not so much. I will say though,
Public etiquette.
public etiquette for sure. A lot of children are well behaved. I'm not saying I'm not saying
We're
I'm
not
a kid
talking-
hater because
yeah,
I'm not.
Right. We're just
It's just the podcast.
Yeah, we're just talking about some experiences and things, and hopefully going to relate to you. That's all.
Absolutely. And there are kids that are very courteous in public. Let's
Yes,
talk about that part.
Of course.
I've seen children open doors. I've seen children pick up things that adults have dropped. I've seen elderly kids with walkers across the street
See?
with their parents.
See, doesn't it feel good?
It does.
When you talk about the good
Those
things,
are
it
great
feels
parents.
good. Yeah, right, absolutely.
Or school,
Yeah,
whichever.
right.
Um,
Continuation.
Absolutely. So there's great things going on out in the public with children. there's fundraisers that kids do on their own to raise money for relief for the fires.
Yeah, there's a lot
or
of great
any
kids.
of it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. The lemonade stands.
Yes.
The lemonade stands in public.
I feel so bad sometimes that I'm not stopping because I'm in a hurry or whatever, but...
That's what the motorcycle clubs are for.
I know.
I've seen those videos. I love it.
But I'm hoping that some people are still stopping out there because they're trying to make something
Absolutely.
for them. Whatever they want, what if they're
Yep.
saving for whatever they're saving for.
I think it's great that we see our children out in public.
Yeah.
Because for a while I was worried that kids were just staying inside,
I know.
playing video games,
Right.
watching
I agree.
TV, being on their phone. So
Yeah.
I try not to give those kids who are out in public a hard time because they're not sitting in front of a screen doing nothing.
Right.
And they're not bullying anybody else or doing something dangerous. They're just a little annoying.
So some people out there might be thinking, like, well, what should I do? How can I control my kid out in public? I have watched Super Nanny a lot. I did. I used to watch it
Super
because
Nanny.
she knows what she's doing.
She does.
She is super. That's why it's Super Nanny.
Absolutely.
But you ever watch the show?
I have.
So a lot of time when I think about Super Nanny, I think about the times that when a person puts the kid to bed.
Oh.
When the person, because the kid always wants to get up,
Yes.
right? And then so you going in there like, get back in bed, right? So I saw how she did it to make it so they never get out of bed again, ever. And it's so easy. You have to be the bigger person, for them, because they're gonna run you ragged. Okay.
Listen,
right?
Mayo, I'm going to tell you
And
something.
I know you have kids, okay? But you have to be consistent. So if they get out of bed, you go back in, you place them down. It's nighttime, sweetheart. Time for bed. Do it again. Even if they do it for 3 hours, they will get tired.
They will.
And they're going to get tired of this. Now they know that they're supposed to be in bed, and if they ever get up again, then you were the consistent one as the adult, and you kept doing that. They're going to have it in their memory, and they never get out of bed again. Yay!
Well, that's the key word, consistency.
Consistency in your child, right?
I'm gonna tell you this though.
Okay.
I failed at that part with my child.
You did.
Oh, would he scream and cry, and I'd be like,
You feel
such
bad.
a bad parent.
See, you feel bad though for them when they cry, don't you?
I was like, I will sing to you, I will pat your back, and then I will slowly creep out.
Okay.
That was my technique.
Yeah.
It didn't work, but eventually you're right. Like, you have to take things away from your kid. If you're in public and acting out, not giving them something is the key. Like, I know we said we go out to dinner or lunch, but if you continue to act this way, we're going straight home.
Yes.
That's the way you handle the child when they're out, or rewarded if they're being good.
Yeah. Right.
It's definitely a whole. You have to take things away.
Yeah.
Kids are materialistic. They don't mean to be, but they are.
Right.
So
plus, you gave it to them in the first place because you're the parent.
It works when they're teenagers too, because they have this big thing called a phone.
Yes, I was going to bring that up. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Do not want to lose that phone. And what it means to them in their social standing.
Yeah.
So that is the biggest leverage you can have.
But they're going to hate you.
Oh, they will hate your guts. But here's the big key out in the social world and as a parent. You are the parent. You are not the best friend and the buddy.
Yeah.
Your job is to raise them in a society where they will be safe and great adults.
Right.
That is up to you what you think that is for your child.
Right.
Right? So if you're a certain way, your child's going to act that way out in public.
Yes.
You don't want them to be a certain way, you don't be a certain way.
Right.
Or you correct their actions.
Yeah.
It's really simple, but to a lot of people that's work.
Yeah, I would be the good parent.
I'm the good parent.
Which is weird, yeah, because I just don't want my kid to. I mean, I don't have any kids, but if I did, I just wouldn't want them to feel bad at all. Like I don't know. I think that's just the way I am because of how I grew up and things.
I'm very proud of how my son is. I'm very proud of the way that he grew up to be a great, polite, helpful, courteous young man. I have heard stories of my son stopping bullies in high school.
Oh, good.
I have heard my son get bullied. It really comes from who raises them, because I instilled in him with just picking on somebody maybe once, not to their face but behind their back, said to him, that's not okay. How would you like it if you heard a bunch of friends were talking about you?
Yeah.
And so on and so forth for the lessons. And it didn't take time at all to teach that to my son. I didn't want him to be a mean person.
Yeah.
I wanted him to stand up for himself, but I didn't want him to be a mean person out there in the social world.
That's good.
Things.
Yeah. Don't be mean. Don't be that bully.
Don't be that way.
Yeah.
Your child is a representation of yourself.
Check out our bully podcast.
Absolutely.
You know?
So the way that your kid acts in public, it's going to reflect on you.
Yes.
As a parent.
That's right.
And I'm going to say this as parent. That can be adoptive parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whatever the parent figure may be. That's what I'm putting out for the disclaimer right there, that people don't think we're thinking maternal.
Yeah, right.
Parent figures.
Parent figures. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad you cleared that up.
Absolutely. But, I think kids are a riot. I love kids
me too.
out in public.
They get along with me. They
funny
get along
things
with
they
you.
do.
Right, absolutely.
Funny things they do. And they make shows based on that.
Let them be kids.
Let them be kids. Yeah. Don't let them grow up too fast.
Right.
Let them be children. It is fun to watch, and it keeps us young.
Yeah.
It keeps us young. Who's the center of attention when you go out? Let's say, so breweries are the place to bring families for socialing, right? So if the kid is out there, and there's one place that I go specifically, they've got lawn games and things, and it's adorable to see these kids pick up these giant checkers and try to play this giant checker game. So I like it.
That looks fun.
It is, and it reminds us of youth.
Yes.
If we aren't reminded of youth, we start to feel really old.
I always play games with the kids.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of nieces and nephews.
Oh, for sure.
You know, so it's not like just because I don't have any kids of my own, but I grew up around kids, and they, I always carried them up.
Yep.
Now I pick them up. I can't pick them up now. They're in their 20s, 30s.
You could try, but I think they'd be picking you up.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they do, because I'm little. And that's it. I'm
no
5'4". I'm 5'4". Okay, 120 pounds. Around there.
I will go back to saying kids in social settings need to be monitored by whichever adult is with them.
Yes.
And to be checked and put in their place.
Right.
When not acting appropriately.
Whether it's your kid or not.
You're still raising them and teaching them until they're 18.
Right.
I mean, even more after that, but legally, you're teaching your kid. Nothing goes by them. Like, they notice everything. Right. Whether you think they do or not, children notice everything.
They do. I dated someone with a kid, and a long time ago. And I was in my apartment, and the kid actually tried to put something into the lights. Into the wall socket.
Ooh.
Like a set of keys, which is not good,
no, not
right?
Good.
So my girlfriend's mother, actually she's passed away since then, but she got so mad that I reprimanded him to put the keys in there. Mm-hmm. She said, "Don't you ever do that with my grandson." And I'm like, "What?" I'm willing to help. I could have saved him from getting electrocuted.
I can't believe that.
And she just...
Do you mind not helping? Could you just not help? I really gave him the keys to stick into that socket.
She went up and down.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, now she got karma, so she's gone. But,
well,
whatever.
Yep.
I'm just saying that let somebody else, to make your point about kind of parenting a child, whether it's yours or not.
Right. Well, it goes to that what is that saying? It takes a village. It takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
Yes, there are certain people you don't want raising your child.
Right.
But if your kid's sticking something in a light socket, please let that adult inform them that please don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, would you be okay if a police officer said the exact same words?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. I think she might have tried to take me to court over it or something.
Oh my goodness!
Terrible.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was saving a life.
Yeah.
I apologize for saving a life, but not really.
Right.
Again, there's being in public. Maybe she wasn't good in public.
Yeah,
maybe as a child.
Yeah. Right. Who knows? I don't know. But those things I never forget.
Did you have temper tantrums in public? I don't think I ever did.
No, I didn't.
I think I remember my mom saying my kids never did that.
I had it at home on the stairs.
I think we
No,
fought
I
more
was
as
like,
siblings.
I want this lollipop. Come on, please.
Mine was, I would like the animal crackers mom from the grocery store. I don't have enough money for the animal crackers at the grocery store. No, you do, because it's only $1 something.
Yeah.
And because I want the animal crackers. I think that might be the extent of my inappropriate behavior in public as a child, was
Yeah.
the darn animal crackers. Listen, I wanted the zoo. I wanted the zoo and then bite the head off. Who doesn't do that?
Yeah. I just
Did I
hardly
just say that out loud? I did. Guilty.
I hardly remember back then and then. I don't know why. I can't recall like going to different stores.
But
And
it was
just,
different for kids. No offense
Yeah.
back then.
I remember going into Woolworths on Main Street in Greenfield.
I don't know what you're talking about, but continue.
Yeah, right. It's just like it's like just a little like not a convenience store. They had all kinds of things.
Okay.
It was in Greenfield.
Yep.
But yeah, I go in there and I knew where everything was, and I went to the toy section all the time. Every time I went into a store, I went to the toy section. Like, I'll meet you at the toy section because I didn't want to walk around and see all the boring stuff.
Pillowcases, I don't care.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know. So.
How?
But anyway, yeah. But anyway, it goes back to just take care of your kids in public or what at all times.
All times,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, and teach them well.
Teach them well. It shows how smart you are and how your kid is.
Right.
So,
All right.
Yeah.
If you want to ask us any questions, and just give us a message, and no matter where we are, and we'll answer you.
I didn't say your name, son, but I know you knew I talked about you. I just had to throw that in there.
Okay. If you're listening.
If you're listening, which I hope you are.
Yes. Well, until next time. It's
Until
been fun,
next time.
Moxie. You've been
It
wonderful
always
as
is.
always.
I love our time together. It's
I do.
fantastic.
It's great. Yeah. And
Yep.
we'll be talking to you again soon.
Absolutely. Till another time.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.